Everything about me was masculine, is masculine. I could say from in kindergarten, very early, basic school as we call it in Jamaica. From I was in basic school, I know that something was different about the way they see me and the way I see myself or how I feel. So I could say between 3 and 6, because kindergarten is between 3 and 6 years old, somewhere there. So I was always acting very boy-like, and then my family and my friends would think that I was just a tomboy.
How did your family react to this change?
Some of them are still in awe, some of them are still in shock, some of them has not yet come to terms with me for who I am. One of the reasons because they're very spiritual. I was raised very spiritual, and their upbringing, their spiritual beliefs, some of them tend to not want to face the reality that I am a trans man, and I am, like, for the most part, it's all masculine. Everything about me is masculine. I wouldn't use it for the most part. Everything about me was masculine, is masculine. Where they are concerned, some of them accepted, some tolerated me, and some just choose not to deal with it because, like I said, for spiritual reasons. Okay, so where transition is concerned, the definition of FTM, which I am, female who transitioned into a male, it's basically, for me, my definition, Kevin's definition, syncing my body with my brain. Other persons don't go through the surgeries because mentally you transition. There are 3 stages to transition: mentally, socially, and medically. I have transitioned socially, I have transitioned mentally from ever since, because I was always acting and living my life as a male. But now I'm doing the medical procedures. I've already done the mastectomy surgery, which is the top surgery, and I am on the HRT, the hormone therapy, and the testosterone. Basically, I've been taking testosterone for 20 months, which is a year and 8 months. So my body has enough testosterone in me that is enough as an average male, practically my age or maybe a few years younger. Every person experiences it differently. For me, my menstrual cycle stopped within the first 2 months of taking the testosterone, never returned. I am now seeing a lot more facial hair. I never had any, and I'm seeing a lot more. It's coming out now. My facial structure has been changed. It's no longer feminine. You can see the difference between the shape of my face. I now have a small beard coming up. I'm having moustache and all of that. My voice is much more deeper than it was at birth or during my last, say, 10 years. My voice is much more deeper. My body is much more masculine because it is changing the feminine side of me. All of my feminine body features are slowly going away, and the masculine side is coming. So I could say I'm at 80%, 90% masculine. The 10% is not obvious. So if I don't tell somebody I was born a female, they don't know. And I really don't care to share that unless you're gonna be in my bedroom. I was a secretary at one point in time, and then I never felt like that was my calling. I hate being the girly girl dressing up in heels and stockings and nails. It was never my thing. So I joined the police force, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and I served for 6 years before I migrated to Canada. And now in Canada, I am working as a counselor / social service worker, a peer educator, activist, and an advocate for the LGBTQ community, as also the HIV community.
Is there at any moment in your life or at any moment in time you ever feel like you go back to being how you were born?
No, because if you speak to the fact that I was given the female body parts, and if I would ever go back to living my life being feminine, no. The possibility doesn't exist. And if I should give a little insight to what the LGBTQ community is about, a transgender, whether they're masculine, feminine, or non-binary, some people would say gender fluid, you are free to date who you want to date, regardless of how you dress or who you are as an individual or how you identify. So even if 10-15 years from now, which I hope and I don't see it happening, but for any reason me or any trans person would revert to go back to being with men, it doesn't mean that person is as reversed transition and return to being a female or the feminine or the submissive person then, if you understand me. So no, the possibility of me going back to being feminine does not exist, and if whatever happens inside the bedroom is that just speaks for itself. But presently and for the rest of my life, I know I'll be dating born women, cisgenders. I was always saying to myself, I feel like a man trapped inside of a woman's body, and anytime I'm able to afford the transition surgeries and anytime I'm in the atmosphere or the environment that welcomes me to be who I am, then I'm definitely gonna come out and just transition. So that would be somewhere in my 20s prior to coming here. And then after I came here and I learned about the resources here and the different services that I could get access to, then I decided to transition fully. So somewhere between the ages of 24 and 33, but I came to Canada when I was 33. It was hard to stay in Jamaica and live my truth without having to go through the different discriminations, etc. There were more than one instances where my life almost came to an end. I was attacked on more than one occasion, and even though I was a part of the police force, I never get the help I needed. So I had to leave. I narrowly escaped death.